excited talking to you. I didn't even realize. Because this is it. Hello, everyone. This is Sham and this is Deb. And we're just having an adult conversation, meeting for the first time. And we're going to probably act like 9-year-olds. Like, that's kind of the point, is we've become these adults following all these rules and doing everything like to perfection, that things never get done, when life now, the virus changed everything, and it's about just showing up and meeting new people. Like, this is your whole business, teaching your daughter the joys of travel. And I gotta tell you, like, it's healing me. Because I spent 17 years in one tiny little town doing nothing. Like that, everything that went wrong in my life is because my family did not give me travel. And how are kids supposed to learn to be global citizens? Not all of us can necessarily be the right types to do a lot of traveling, but we can always find people who are doing it and become, you know, couch travelers, and it is, again, seeing the world through our own eyes. We still show up with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Through, like, everyone else's eyes. It's just, I'm just so in love. I'm so glad you got on that mastermind. I mean, it just felt like,
that was life-changing. Like, I literally am still catching up. Bless this other lady's heart that I'm going to talk to later on. She's amazing, because that week I ended up jumping on a read from one of the people there in the mastermind class. It was Felicia, and she was so kind. She read my book that Saturday to basically her story hour, and not even 45 minutes after it was over, I was in a wreck. And so me, Zendaya, we're great. I literally had less than $500 worth of damage done to my truck, which is a blessing in itself, considering the weather. But, you know, the devil will always try and show up and take your joy and your fun away, but he didn't. It was just a blessing. Like, it's been so amazing. So I'm still connecting with people. I'm still learning. I'm still like finding out how I can make this thing better. So it's just been incredible.
It's so enriching to be part of a community. And then, like, not just like being a solo business owner over here, like, it's like, look what she's doing, and look at how they're talking, and look at Paul just keeps throwing masterclass after masterclass at us, concept after concept. I mean, really, seriously, I think it's more priceless than any MBA that's out there right now. None of those courses, however much they cost, are doing anything for anyone that is nowhere near what he's doing. Because it's just, he's helping established entrepreneurs. He's helping people who are scared to death their job. We'll be calling them on any given Monday this summer, right? It is this whole back and forth that we just don't know what's going to happen now.
Right.
Especially as adults, especially with a kid. Like, to surf this has got to be really challenging, and that he's brought not just a broadcast, but that there's a community, and we're all talking, and we're all trying to just do this, which is, we've got each other. And who knows, right? Because I kind of think our conversation is less about today than about trying to get both of us to reverse engineer from this beautiful future. Is to step back away, because we don't quite know each other, and we don't quite, like, this isn't a marketing call, or this is like an inspiration. And how we do that is like reverse engineer from this beautiful vision. Like, what's the future? How is, like, the empire of Sightseeing with Sandy?
Thank you. No, I've been dreaming, and we have some really cool things coming down the pipeline that I'm working on. So, and they are definitely not direct products of people that I met, but they're the byproducts of Paul. And I told this to his wife in an email to her. I said, it's not that I needed permission to dream, but I needed to be reminded that I did not need permission to dream as a Black woman.
Yes.
And it's so important that you remove all barriers, all hindrances, whatever you think your stops are, remove them. And that's actually what one of the girls from the group told me. She was like, walk in like you got the check. And I was like, you know what? Somebody told me that a few years ago when I was in a pre-accelerator, and totally did not have that mentality in this space. But I was like, thank you so kindly for that reminder, because when I started thinking like I already had the check, that's when all these other really cool things started to come to mind and started to become born. And I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. And I'm like, this is great though. This is great. This is all good. So I'm excited.
Is what has happened, I think. And again, I like to put this back into the childhood context, because as adults, we don't think enough about how we learned as kids is precisely how we learn how to be a brand new business owner, or to learn like to play the saxophone or something. We got to get back into that childhood thing. And it's so important that we understand that the way adults work is to bully people to be the same. They want that memorization. They want to have that key chart. Here's how you get a 97. It's all written down. But that's not how entrepreneurship works. That's not how we create, a world famous movie, or, do a new dance. You have to be like totally into failure and questioning. Well, like, what was good about that failure? Like, what was this thing that I enjoyed, even though like I don't want anybody to see like that I did this dance, but it felt kind of cool. There was this thing I did that I don't know, what is that about? It's really that in itself that I had to learn about embodiment. I was one of those people who was locked in, and you sit in quiet from your 5-year-old and you want to be a good kid and you stop moving. That takes away the ability of your body and mind to have new ideas. Just moving differently. You don't say the next sentence that comes out of your mouth is something you've never said before, versus when we're typically just repeating this. It's like play.
Sandy has totally reminded me to play. And that's been the most amazing thing about our relationship. It's like, number one, actually one of the most amazing things, that along with the fact that she constantly challenges me when she has this crazy wish list of stuff like, so this is what we're going to do today. I'm like, really? And so it's like, you figure it out. You figure it out and you have fun doing it. And I think when we actually don't get it right the first time, that's when we have the most fun.
Yeah.
So,
that quote, I mean, you could write you could put a t-shirt. You do it like in the kid's voice, like, this is what we're going to do today. Like somehow it came out in a dream and they just woke up and they could just put it in the world. Like, oh, that's powerful. It is really powerful because how you said it, right? I've never met her yet, but how you changed your voice. I got your daughter's energy. It wasn't, you saying it. It was that whole energy of, she literally came bounding out of her dream. Into her day.
That is my child. Like, energetic is an understatement. That is an understatement of the year for that child.
Right?
I was trying to see if I had a pen in here because I was actually going to write that down because I don't want to forget it.
Yeah, well, that's why we've got the recording. So
that's totally
we could. I literally. So that would have been about 15 minutes on the recording.
Okay. Thank you.
This is because this is again part of what I found is everyone today was worried about microphones and this and that and the other thing. I just put it up on YouTube, and then you can check the box to have it start playing at 15 minutes.
Right.
So we can then like have this little bit of where we really saw like getting in your own child's joy is how every entrepreneur can be as successful as they want to be.
Absolutely. She's at the table for everything that we create because number one, it's fun. I've not traveled near as much as I want to make sure she does. And we're going to do it together as soon as, this stuff lives. But we're doing this for kids that, aren't as fortunate as her, whether it's because their parents can't take off or it's financial hindrances there or whatever. Like, I want all kids to have intentional thoughts about traveling, not these thoughts that put it in a realm of non-reality for them. Like,
Right.
you can travel, and you may not can travel right now, but start thinking about it. Like, then know what's there for you when you get there, and expect it to be better, because by that time it will be. So it's like you give kids that can't the promise that they can. And that's what so many people have done for me in my life. And that's what I really and truly want to do for other children going forward at mine.
I just cannot tell you. I mean, I will do anything for you. I don't know what it is, right? I just am so, because this is, you know, humanity got stuck in all these blank corners where they're just on a treadmill looking at nothing but the same old, because we didn't prioritize travel. And because it is the case that, you know, some kids are too sick. Some parents are too sick. You know, we think this is all about money, but there are so many reasons that kids would want to have content where they can travel along with a peer of the same age, going all these places, that it is, again, because she's a solo kid. So think of it, you know, with 6 kids, you really can't just do the amount of traveling. You know, there really is a sort of 2 maybe, and then it just becomes really challenging. So big families can use the content so the kids get to have more of a personal experience, because the daughter will go to Sandy, and then once they know Sandy exists, maybe there's another girl that somebody else can find who's more of like a, she's full of energy, you know, somebody like me who would have been more of like a bookish girl. Who's always, you know, in the, you know, sitting around going, let me write some stuff and let me read some stuff. Because if you're successful, you're going to inspire another mother, daughter, mother, son, father, right? That's the big dream about it, is you can't play small, because what if just one other set of, you know, parent and children combination becomes as successful?
Yes.
You will help so many people.
Yeah, and I can't wait to share with the community the thing that I'm working on, because I feel in my heart of hearts it's going to be a huge game changer. And I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to it.
And so one of the things I was thinking about, my friend Yinka, who's just been hanging around for IPCB, I met her, and she wasn't, because through some of the Nigerian connections, but she's in the UK, and she has a 9, 11, and a 2-year-old, I believe.
That's awesome. And where are you? I'm sorry, Deb, where are you?
I'm in Seattle.
Okay. Because I saw your 202. No, that's Washington, D.C.
I actually used to live on the same block as PCB. We didn't know each other. I was in the Clinton years, but that is actually, so that is literally how I became memorable. And it comes back to my bookishness. So like, I've known him on LinkedIn for about 3 years, 3 to 4 years. And really was like, not gonna, just following everything he did. Just like, this is just crazy, wonderful. He sent out, you know, you got like 1 email or 2 emails a year. I'm scrolling all the way down to the bottom. I like can't get enough. It was when he was talking about either building the schools or sharing all the books. That's awesome. I was reading and I was like, oh, I want to be part of this. Oh, I need to like get my finances correct to be part of this, to do this kind of thing. And so and I go all the way down to the address. You know, and it's just these funny things that I am just so detail oriented. And I went, wait a second. I know that road, but why would I know that? I didn't live on that. And it's, you know, everything in DC is alphabetical. So the one before my street. Yeah. But you know more than your own street, because you don't say your own street, but you're looking for the one before, so you know to turn. Yeah. So like, it was just this this big sign of like the street name, and it was the same block. That's crazy. So when I tell him this, right, then I'm now instantly memorable for the rest of my life. When did you live in DC? It's back in the Clinton years. I'm that old.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't look it, so you're doing good and you're being pretty happy in life. So
Well, thank you for saying that, because I was about to tell you it was after I graduated college. So
oh, wow.
I'm that old that I actually did show up the very day of Clinton's inauguration. So
That's awesome.
January 20th, 1993.
Mm-hmm.
I had been in Pittsburgh for college, and then all of my friends got into graduate school at Howard. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, let's go. And then I did a lot of traveling back and forth. I was a software consultant. So again, the love of the travel.
Okay.
I only got to do it once my job
Was
one.
and doing it all. Yeah.
So well, no, I traveled a lot on my own. Let's not say I didn't, not until the job, and I selected a job that being a consultant that included a lot of travel. But as far as like the specifics of like learning how people do business
Mm-hmm.
in other cultures, like that is its
Mm-hmm.
own kind of different niche that, I would have never ever gotten to see that if my job hadn't been the one doing a lot of the traveling, to go in
Right.
and like understand that a lot of the prejudice in America isn't the same there.
Yeah.
But it's not perfect, but it
Mm-hmm.
seems more like people can just be colleagues.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, as much as we say we're all free, and it's very cliquish here. Like everything is about the in crowd.
It
Is again because people aren't traveling. Is they live
No,
their
I
lives in these tiny little neighborhoods with these same people, and the
totally
mindset
agree.
does not expand.
I totally agree. And it's funny you say that. I actually used to live in North Bethesda. So definitely the DC vibe was, who are you and what can you do for me? And I was just like, that's DC for you. That's the click. That's definitely an example of that. So yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you at all on that. I feel like sometimes I'm happiest when I'm out the city and I'm just back in the country and people are just happy to see you and seeing how you really are doing, and they're not expecting you to do anything for them because they're happy, they're good in life. And so it's actually funny, like some of the mini adventures on our IG. I think the first one I did in my hometown area of like Louisville, Arkansas, Garland, Arkansas. And we talked about the silos where they used to keep the grain and everything like that. So it's like it's giving kids just a different, perspective on just what's out there in the world. Like, everything is not going to be a Big Ben status. Like, there are just some really cool things about being in a pasture with cows, believe it or not. So
Again, having divorced ourselves from the natural world,
yeah.
as these city goers in these tiny, similar boxes and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kids need to be in dirt. And maybe
Yes.
they can't really officially be in dirt if they're living in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
if they get to see another kid play.
Yeah.
They're having sense memories, and they're understanding about why you can't pollute, why it's important to not throw garbage around. Like,
Absolutely.
when all you do is live on asphalt, it's sort of, well, it's inconvenient, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, they pay people to come pick it up. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, if you don't give kids the full understanding of the natural world, we end up with a lot of what we've got going on right now. I mean, again,
I totally agree.
It's just astounding how we're polluting our only home.
I know. And it's like we're not fighting to keep it at its best. We're fighting to make it worse. And I'm just like, where they do that at? Like, that's not okay. That is not okay.
It's back to, I mean, I certainly don't want people dead. I certainly am not like okay with the virus.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the virus has happened and I can't do anything about it, I need to be okay with saying it was time to collapse most of this crap anyway. Is let it all just go. Let's focus on keeping people alive. Let's stop worrying about, like, we don't need any corporation. They're pieces of paper. We could literally just say everybody has as much money as they had on January 1st, 2020, and like stop the financial system. Like, stop people from so much financial stress. Stop people from getting evicted. Stop people from having their credit cards, stop them from being able to buy food. We can just, it's simply, this stuff is all, like, there's no reality there. It's just all digits on a computer.
Right. Right.
How come the leadership of this country is killing people for concepts? Like
When
this.
you find out, please share.
Well, I think, this is it. It's just this conversation. If we can find one influential person to come listen to the questions, because as a philosopher, like, that's what I'm good at. Like, asking these incredibly, like, no, why haven't we asked that question? Because I don't understand how the statistics are that 65 to 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. We got $1,200 a long time ago. It's so long ago, I can't even remember how long ago it was.
Seriously, it was,
So what's happening? What is happening to 70% of Americans?
Yeah.
What? And there's not a discussion. I mean, the news has all died down. Everything's now about fighting about masks and fighting about how
hand sanitizer, toilet paper.
What's going to happen to, how are people not going to get evicted throughout the summer because that money just doesn't pop out of thin air?
No, it doesn't.
I hope it starts doing things to.
I hope the states continue, if they have done those practices. Like, I know Texas, I'm not sure if it was statewide or if it was just Dallas County, but I think it was statewide, where they did, they put a moratorium in place and you couldn't evict people for so many days. And I'm just like, that's human decency. That's great. Appreciate that.
Well, the thing is I think overall that happened, but the problem is what happens when everyone just is writing in the newspapers, everything's open for business. So the landlords are now like, they want 3 months back rent. And it's again, we thought so smallly about a global pandemic.
Right.
None of the ramifications, none of the consequences, and we've created the consequences.
Yeah, we have.
Are not like up front going, science is saying this is the most deadly novel virus we've ever encountered. That we couldn't just all go, humans matter.
Yeah.
That until we have a leadership level that's going to say that, I don't know how it doesn't get worse. Which means
I'm praying for it to get better. I really and truly am.
That, well, it gets better again by us as adults confronting that it probably is going to get worse, and then putting all of our energy into how do we create as many businesses as we can. Create, keep having these conversations, get the people who, even if they never ever thought about making a business, realize, well, they don't just pray that their job doesn't go away. They see, I got to do something.
Action.
1 hour a week that they dedicate to watching Paul. But that is more than nothing. That's more than just simply going, well, it's got to go back to normal, because it just can't.
Well, I mean, like, who wants to really and truly go back to normal? Because normal was you basically waiting on and depending on that one sole check that was going to come to you every 2 weeks. Nobody wants to do that, especially if they have people that depend upon them. Nobody wants that. I hope I hope it sets a new precedence for what normal should be, and not take us back to the normal that we knew beforehand, in all sense of the word.
In every sense. And that's where it's, again, like, part of this conversation with you and I is to have the capacity just together, but also in every other woman that we talk to. Our success is now the success of the future of all of our kids, the success of our society. If we have the money to be in charge of things, the world becomes more humane. So where it used to be like, there was all of this clouds of worth and taking care of people, we American adult women have the hearts and souls to save the future. So we have to make the money to make that happen. We cannot do anything but focus on making the money to have that happen, because then we're going to pay for the next business person, create the next little place that families are safe to be in, that can't possibly recover from this financially. We're going to take care of it only if we have the money in our own bank accounts.
Yep. I completely agree.
You know, this is a messaging that hasn't been out there so much. I mean, there were special women, there were all these but that all women take our own responsibility to having the money so that we're the decision makers. I mean, this is what Paul said again today. It comes down to that. If you are economically stable, you're investing in the right ways. If you keep letting the corporations do it, it becomes about scale and shareholders.
You're never the priority in that case.
Yeah, it is. Individuals are always losing out to large entities. Whereas when individuals succeed, we succeed as a group, and we want to help other. We need, again, virtual VAs, we need accountants, we need marketing people, and we start becoming these little cooperatives of, you know, saying, oh, and let me have you go talk to this person because this really was a great thing that I got on my website. And it's just what's happening with Tribe PCB. I think it's a model that I hope is happening like in other little, you know, cauldrons. What is it? Like the more success that Paul gets, the more success of the people who can show up, who then have an opportunity to learn like this, who then become part of the community, who then bring in more people in the community. And then we've created the next level of small entrepreneurial businesses. I just feel so grateful, so honored. Now, where are we at here time-wise? Because we're gonna get you back to your daughter and everything as soon as possible. But like, what do you need right now? What's the thing we can try and help you get?
So this week was just emotionally taxing for all the knowing on George Floyd. So Sandy and I, we were going to announce our books because we did drop them. All 4 of them are now officially on Amazon. So it's the first book in the series. It's available paperback and Kindle, and it's available in English and Spanish. So I'm really excited about that. We are, like I said, I'm working on a few other projects, and I'm hoping to have everything done within 2 weeks, actually, so I can have my first prototype done. But once I get that in, once I get that approved and it gets to me, I will definitely be sharing that with the tribe. I got to do some more trademarking and copywriting and everything like that. So that's exactly what I'm going to work on next. I already have the second book written, so I plan on working with someone to help me do my Kickstarter, because that is so out of my reach. But apparently this is like what he does. So I said, you know, I will totally trust you for it. But yeah, so we came up with a budget that we both think is ideal. And everything is lined out. It's like the illustrations, the editing, the marketing. We had, I think, legal fees, obviously, as far as like processing, copywriting, trademarking, all the things that need to be involved with that. And then just having a PR person work with me too. So that's exactly like pretty much what I based my budget on. And I think I did I did an extra $5,000 for this other project that I'm working on, because I want to make sure if it's popular, like I'm definitely gonna, you know, test it out with the tribe first to see what they think about it. But if it's popular, I definitely want to have some on hand to sell, and we can definitely go from there. But there is ironically a processing place right here in Dallas, Texas, that once I get there, and I'm claiming it into existence, once I get to that next level where I'm needing these huge orders, they can process them right here in Dallas.
Yay! So. It's just fascinating again to me sometimes to be having these like grown women discussions. Like it's an important thing that it's just when you're trying to build your own thing, like not like having it be like this out there, like this business thing, and you're only ever like consulting experts, like going, I want to talk about it just basically so that I can hear, am I like missing anything? Have I explained it well? Does the other person have questions? Like, it's just like, I think one of my biggest obstacles was like, there was all this education that was missing. but
Right.
it really isn't. Like, nobody knows really, and you don't have to do it the same, but you have to
Right.
be logical enough to see all of, well, there's the legal this and the this and the that.
Mm-hmm.
You just need those kind of conversations happening in informal settings so that any business owner can go, yeah, oh, geez, I literally forgot, like, that I might want to need to, like, have some IP protection here because you're so busy creating, and everyone's like, hustle, 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 and, get more followers. The standards, what's on LinkedIn, like, really leads people astray in some ways. Because it's just like, give everything away.
Yeah.
Is this really what the culture has created? Because, and that's, I think that's another good thing about the virus, is we're going to come back and humans need to get paid. You simply can't, like, take advantage of people.
No, and they need to get paid a fair wage. Like, I hope people now will, for the ones that did, I hope they never undermine the work and the ethics and everything behind grocery workers and janitors and people that really and truly are essential and are front line. Like, for some of us, we didn't need a pandemic to tell us that, these people had value behind them. And other than just because they're human beings, obviously, they had value because they were servants. They were huge servants to our society. And when we were at our lowest, when money would not save us, food does, shelter does. Being, obviously, in this case, being as clean as possible and having those clean environments, that's essential. That's what's saving you. But you're not out there doing that work. Somebody is. So I really hope that more people will look at human beings as being human beings and don't look down upon the work that they do that honestly has saved their life.
And I love how you said it. And I'm just going to come in as a number person here. We cannot have adults not making enough money to keep a roof over their head in the city where they live. Nope. It is not about $15. It's not about $20. It is about, to have a $2,000 apartment in Dallas so that you and your kid have a bedroom each. This person has to be making $50,000. That's $25 an hour bare minimum. Yeah, we can no longer adults must be making enough money to put a roof over their head. Because what we've done, America, is nothing but a culture creating homelessness. It's this whole $15 thing, and the real estate industry just keeps going up and up and up and up. They can charge as much as they want. There are nothing stopping these apartment buildings. And then you get smaller and smaller boxes. So here in Seattle, I mean, most houses they're like studios. And that drives people into mental health problems, right? Yeah. It's this box situation when and then we're on these little devices and we start scrouching over, and you're like you're moving, you've got your posture, like that our brains collapse like that into patterns that we can't see, we can't get out of. Who has done the math? $15 an hour maybe somewhere in Arkansas, maybe somewhere in North Dakota, but for most of what we think about of America, that is not enough money for an adult.
No, it's not, especially if they have people to support, like their kids. Like, parents can make a lot of situations work, but they have peace of mind when they can provide for their kids and make sure their kids are taken care of and their kids are safe and well fed. Once you take that autonomy away from them, or you don't enable them to have it in the first place, they get pushed essentially to a point of doing what they have to do to make that happen. And that's not always like the most glorious thing in the world, whatever that may be. But at the end of the day, their intentions are to take care of their kid. Right. And I know corporations have the ability to pay them to do just that.
Is all it takes is having the cities and the localities have the balls to say, if this is how much it costs for an adult to have this apartment with kids, if they put those matrix, this is the bare minimum salary. You don't get to be in our city if you're going to create homelessness. Because we don't need all these excess jobs. We don't need all these managers. People are now going to be working from home. We don't need people walking floors and making sure people show up at X, Y, Z. Like, the whole concept of everything has gone away.
Mm-hmm.
Precedent is over. This is again why the entrepreneur class has to like really start sprinting out ahead and surviving.
Yep.
Because it's again, I'm talking a lot about the fact that we don't need these campuses in these sort of suburban campuses, nor do we need these big office towers in cities. We need to right now start putting homeless people in them. Nobody's going back to work, right? Start making that actual housing. This is the way corporations who are going to succeed are going to, because they're paying rent on these things. They're not going to be able, I mean, again, it's the lights are on, the water's running.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see a single corporation. I'm trying to get these ideas out there. I don't even have, that's where I'm always scrambling. So the more people I talk to like this, the more I'm comfortable that the second a journalist calls me, or the second I'm like, I'm just sending something to Oprah today, because I want these questions out there. Like, we have to, again, with the George Floyd, hold on a second. If science says none of us should be going out for the rest of 2020, and we're about there. I mean, people are scared to say that, but the science, we don't know. We don't have any data, and the more data that comes in, the more confusing the virus is to the scientists.
Yep.
So we basically stopped getting any data from science over the last 4 weeks. There's just no, the Washington Post, the New York Times, nobody's even talking about what the scientists are saying. So we can't go back out. So we don't need police. If we put everyone in a home, there's no crime. Nobody's out. Save humanity, then we don't really need the police. Then we can take the money from the police to work on public health. And then we don't have this organization that is murdersome and has been corrupt for decades. Let's disband it. Let's say we take all of that money and we just put everyone in a house. And then everyone's in, and everyone gets internet access, and we all start like having polls on Twitter, like, okay, well, what do we do with the insurance industry? No, we don't need that. we start really going, what is crucial and essential and what's not.
I think a lot of organizations are definitely going to be questioning some things that were in place in their infrastructures pre-COVID-19 and utilizing them to better meet the needs of their employees as well as society.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the outcomes of what they decide to do with that for sure. And I'm looking forward to public health outcomes too. I think more companies are now realizing how important mental health is and mental health days, because this, especially people had kids at home, you're at home all day long with the kids, you don't get a break. That could definitely be really, really trying. And so I think, it's put a lot of people that possibly have the ability to either make the decisions or the people that are next to the people making a decision. I think it put everybody in an uncomfortable, uncharted territory. And that is going to definitely spike up some conversation. So looking forward to see what comes out of that.
I think we just all have to, there's horrors going on, but when we can unite and just go, let's take this opportunity, let's imagine the best possible world, because we'll never get another opportunity like this. And there's nothing really to go back to that was working all that well on any level. It's just not really worth saving. So then it's all fun again. And then it's all acting like, a 9-year-old who's bounding out of a dream going, aha, let's just, why do we need police? What causes crime? People want to take care of their kids. It really isn't what the movies, it's not like people are born criminals. In real life, people do what they need to do to care for their family. And then they don't have options. Crime exists in places where there are no jobs. Put the people in work, give the people jobs, and who has time for crime? Give them one kid and a job, and most adults are like, that's enough, I'm through. It's society's fault. Crime is society's fault.
You definitely still have some that would test that system, I'm sure. So I'm okay with the police being there.
I'm being very philosophical.
Yeah.
And sort of.
They need training, that's for sure. That's a completely different conversation, but I think definitely we can be more compassionate to everyone, for sure. And I don't think that I don't think that we're going to have a more perfect time to not only realize that, but act on that than we do now.
Yeah.
I really think compassion has been missing for quite some time and probably was never present in most areas of life, essentially, for a lot of people that just did not have to think for other people or outside of their comfort zone, essentially.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that this situation has put a lot of things in people's faces to make them have to acknowledge something that was there all along, but they were in such a comfortable position and they were in such an advantageous position that they could choose to look away and not acknowledge XYZ.
And it's the comfort angle, but it's also the sheep angle. It's that adults keep bullying each other. Just get a job. Don't try and build your own thing. Don't take this risk. You know, we want that is like, we take people's dreams from them really quickly. Before they've even finished the sentence about, I'm going to do this wonderful thing. We're like, no, you need to get a job. And then that bullying becomes reality. Like, well, that's the only option. We've taken away the dreaming and the capacity. And it's all about how we talk to each other in a real serious way, that we adults created all of this horror. We created all of this prejudice, and we can stop it. We can. And it's a process. We don't just go like this. Each person goes like that. Each person goes, I will never, ever again, ever not interact with another human without making respect. Respect, respect. I'm just going to sit here and go respect, respect, respect until I can trust myself to not be a complete dick. Because really, that's where much of this is coming from.
A lot of people. But no, I'm in a really good place. I'm very thankful. I'm glad for things that I needed. They've definitely come through in the forms of different people. So I literally have no complaints. It's on me right now to get some stuff done. So once this weekend is over, thank God in advance, I'll be able to get back to work and doing things that I love and getting back to this. So I'm excited about so much. So
I'm excited too. I am definitely going to let you get into your evening, go be with that lovely child. And look, I'm always here. Like quick DM, whatever. Like let's make your stuff happen, because I can see how good it's going to be for so many people.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And like I said, I cannot wait. Like, I'm definitely going to tell the tribe first. Y'all will be my first big announcement when we get this other thing approved and out there. So I'm really excited.
All right. Well, enjoy your weekend. Be well.
You do the same.
We'll be commenting, and I'm sure every chance we get.
Absolutely. And thank you again so much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. I've really enjoyed getting to know you. So I look forward to keeping you updated on everything.
And see you in Jamaica. We're already talking about like November 2021.
I can't wait. Yes. Much needed at that.
It'll just be like Hug Fest 2021.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Be well.
You too, Deb.